The following is a quick video on how to make a measurement in SureCount that spans across multiple drawings for feeders that could come across a match line onto a different drawing, or maybe up a riser onto feeding onto a different floor. So what I've got here is IntelliBid, and I also want to be able to show just how to push that into my estimate in IntelliBid. So I've got feeders first floor set up and feeders second and third floor, and also have the drawings in SureCount for a first, second, and third floor layout here. I've taken the first floor and I've assigned that drawing to the first floor phase, same as the third floor, and assigned that to the third floor phase for the feeders. Now, what I've got is a feeder I set up in here, albeit probably want to properly label it RP3, but I labeled it RP1 and set it up as a 200 amp 2-inch EMT 4 number 3 with a ground. Now I also went in and set up an assembly. I created a 200 amp feeder, used job spec to set up my fittings, also my elbows and my add feed each wire I had set up in job spec to be defaulting to the values shown here for 3 and 12. I also want to grab a junction box. I actually have just a quick pre-made junction box for this 2-inch with connectors. And down here in the bottom left corner you'll see these defaults pre-checked for show this measurement on all drawings and display measurement symbols in symbol bars. The measurement symbols, when I create and add pull boxes to the system, or elbows or segments and connectors during the takeoff, they can be displayed here on the right hand side for each one of the feeders. And I can display that on or off for my preference. Also, if I'm doing a feeder, typically the feeder's located right on that same drawing. I wouldn't need to worry about this, but in this particular case, in this example as well, I'm going to go across a couple of drawings and up a riser as well. And if I have this measurement set up here, RP1 for the first floor, it'll only show up on the first floor drawing. If I switch to the second or third floor, RP1 wouldn't show up unless I check that off, and in this case I know it is spanning across those drawings, so I'm going to pre-check that as well. Now when I create the measurement, I'm going to come out of this electrical room, come across, and I'm about 112 feet, so I'm just going to actually throw in a pull box and continue along here. I might as well maximize. Come up to this match line where the engineer really missed putting that traditional match line, and then pick up the measurement further on this other end here, and we're right about the 200 mark, so I'm just going to creep into this area and add another junction box. Continue over right against this back wall where there is, by example, a riser where I'm going to rise up to the third floor, and I'm going to use this K factor to take this two-dimensional drawing and add the 15 feet between floors to set my K factor to be 15 feet, and then right click at this location to add 15 feet once and add it a second time to go through the second floor and onto the third floor, and you can see the K factor's been shown here on the right hand side, as well as the two pull boxes that I've made up in that measurement. Now 333 feet on the first floor. When I move to the third floor and go to the feeder symbol group, you'll see that the feeder RP1 followed along onto this drawing. Now there's no measurement on this drawing, but there's a running total of 333 feet. Now I'm going to pick up and zoom in on this right to the corner and pick up that feeder, select it, and then pick it up from the riser location out of the electrical room, or up and over and across into this mechanical room, that is. Maybe kick over where this panel board is located, and then add a K-factor on this floor, maybe add 10 feet to drop down from the top of the conduit down to the panel board, and now have just under 30 feet on this floor, as well as a running total of 362.81 feet for the entire feeder. Now, what I'm going to do is now take that feeder off as an individual feeder and push it right into IntelliBid. And what it's going to do is only take off the feeder, or that 30 feet for this one particular floor. So you'll see now 30 feet's inside IntelliBid. When we move down to the first floor, the remainder of the feeder at 333 feet is still not in IntelliBid, and I'm going to take that portion of the feeder and push that into IntelliBid as well. Now that process is complete, and I'm just going to refresh IntelliBid and now open the IntelliBid up, pull the libraries out of the way, and you'll see that the feeder RP1 is listed here at 334 feet with 2 pull boxes on the ground floor, and the remainder of that feeder is up on the third floor at 30 feet and did not have a pull box associated with it, just the conduit up and over into that mechanical closet or mechanical room. It is auditing what is going on per drawing. If you so choose to accumulate the feeder totally, you could just cut this out and move it down to the first floor and append it, and have the feeder in here, and maybe label it third floor. But you see here that moving it into IntelliBid, how it's auditing, but the main thing is I've demonstrated now how to make a feeder that spans across a match line onto a different drawing, or up a riser and across onto that other floor, and be able to accumulate that measurement. So it's pretty easy, and try it out, and have any questions, call us at our support line. We're more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you.